remember.
How do you do the second injection?
I've had sex with about 50 people.
You have to like pass this
if
down.
we're going to be precise, and why not be precise since we're going there? 40 guys, a dozen girls. And then there were the sex parties and the groping, half-dressed puppy piles. But let's not go there, because if we count all those folks too, then the number gets embarrassing. I feel the need to tell you this in order to establish my queer sex activist credentials. Even though, of course, you can be queer without the girl who went to college, fell in love with, and then had sex with a 6'2" white boy from the Midwest, a boy her parents wouldn't approve of. They wouldn't approve of their daughter having sex with anyone at all. Those parents told their daughter that if she had sex before marriage, the world would end. They believed it. But she did have sex with that boy. The world didn't actually end. The girl went on and had more sex. Indoors, outdoors, in public, in private, in every position she could manage, including a few that did prove injurious to her health. The first white boy was followed by another, and then, surprisingly, a white girl. She liked it. Then a few more white boys, and then some boys and girls who weren't so white. She fucked a lot of people. Strangers on mountaintops in foreign countries, roommates at home after a few bottles of champagne. You guys know what the difference is between a straight woman and a bi woman? It's a bottle of champagne. As opposed to straight man, gay man, six-pack of beer because we have better taste. In any case. She decided monogamy was not her thing, and a few years into this glorious sextravaganza, this girl was dating several folks at the same time, juggling the craziness and loving life. Her parents were, of course, not thrilled. A few screaming fights ensued, but the girl kept having sex anyway, because she was stubborn that way, and because for some reason, which I cannot remember now, she thought it was important. Her sexual escapades did not stop there. The girl wrote smut and posted it on the internet. She wrote sentences like these. I wanted to get my hands on Jenna's breasts, on her belly and hips and ass. I wanted to grind my pubic bone against her clit. I wanted my fingers fucking her in and out, fast and hard and sweet. I wanted her screaming. She used her real name. Her parents found out. And then there was a whole new round of screaming. The girl refused to stop. She called herself a sex activist and went to college campuses and gave readings of her work. Stories that went like this. She rubbed my clit until I started squirming on the sheets again. Then she slid a finger into my hole. 2, 3, no problem. 4 was easy. I'd taken 4 plenty of times. And when she slid her thumb in there, I spread my thighs wider, inviting her in. I wrote erotica for like 10 years before I wrote anything else. So if you like that, there's lots more of it out there. But this is not about that. So, her poor parents. You don't see that girl when you see me up on this stage. That girl was 20 years and 40 pounds ago. I have a partner now, and even though we've chosen not to marry, he happens to be a guy. And so people assume we're married and call him my husband. And sometimes if I'm feeling political, I correct them, and sometimes I don't bother. We're still not monogamous, but most people don't know that because my other sweetie lives in California and I hardly ever see him. I don't have time or energy to start up anything new with anyone local. Sorry. But from the outside, I look awfully straight and narrow. We have 2 small kids and a beagle, and we've just left our city condo for a house in the suburbs, a house I spend all my free time renovating. Instead of getting sweaty in bed, I get sweaty in the garden, digging up weeds and putting in roses. And if I'm awake in the middle of the night, it's not because I'm naked with 3 other people having an impromptu contest to see who can come the most often. The boys always used to lose those. It's very sad. Now I'm awake because the baby needs to be fed every 3 hours, and my breasts are aching, and my nipples are sore, and not in a sexy way. Not even a little bit. There are days when I might have a flicker of a thought about sex, and how it might be nice to have it some again someday. But then the baby pees and poops all over me, and these are not the fluids that I would like to have smeared all over my body. What I want, all I want, is a hot shower and 5 minutes alone to enjoy it. There are mornings when I would kill for a hot shower. I can't even remember why I used to think sex was so important, why I spent so many years of my life on it in one way or another, why I took so many risks and made my parents so crazy. My daughter's name is Kavya. She's 2 years old and already hell-bent on risking her life, running into tables, falling downstairs. I've spent the last 2 years trying to save her, to protect her, remembering to make her wear her hat when it's cold, remembering to take off her sweater when it's too hot, telling her no, be careful, don't touch that, don't eat that. I tell her no, over and over and over again, and I can already see that this is going to turn into a habit. That someday Kavya is going to be 18 and going off to college and meeting random boys and or girls that I don't know and I don't trust, and I'm going to have to bite my tongue so hard to keep from saying no, don't, stop. Yes, I am aware of the irony. So I'm here to make you a deal. As I stand here in my mom jeans and my flowered sweater, you should have seen what I used to wear when I was performing, like little slinky things. Anyway, stand here in my mom jeans and flowered sweater, my hair up in a ponytail, which may not be sexy, but is damn useful for keeping hair out of your face and out of the baby's grabby hands. And I promise you this, when my kids are growing up, I'll try to remember that while it's my job to protect them, it's also my job to let them take risks, to let them decide for themselves what constitutes safe, sane, and consensual behavior. I will try to remember that girl who had sex with strangers on a mountaintop and who wrote about it on the internet. And I will try to remember that sometimes sex can be desperately important. And in return, I'll ask you to remember, the next time you meet an almost 40 soccer mom in the suburbs, that somewhere under the flowered sweater and mom jeans, there is a sexual being. That even if she looks happily married, she might have a boyfriend in California. And that not so long ago, she might have hooked up with a hot girl at a conference, just for a night. That her love life, her sex life, might be a little more complex than it appears. That she might have a history, or if she doesn't, she might at least wish that she had. Please remember that for her, when she can't remember it for herself. Thank you.